can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, first thing we got 4 high here. Is anyone surprised by the price action today?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I guess I wasn't expecting it to pump like that. Just keep going up. I don't know. I didn't expect it. I never know what to expect though.
Well, I mean, you have to know the bias and the levels that we had, right? And I think we had pretty clear levels on what we wanted to see, in my opinion, right? So on the watch list, remember, does anyone remember what we talked about being like the most important level?
Single print?
Single prints was one of them, right? What about like the larger time frame? Is this something we talked about last night?
Oh, yeah. Previous week. Earlier.
It was previous week value area low, and then we also had the single prints in that section right here, right? Remember we said, and then at this time, I guess at night when we were doing the watch list, I said it's not a bad long. We would target, from here potentially 58 was the level we were watching, and then 63, and then you see each one of the levels got cleared, right? So, and then right now they're above, they're right at previous week value area high. So when you look at this in terms of, let's say, PVP like this, and you just hide everything here. Look at this.
Wow.
I guess maybe 120 is the level. Maybe I had it marked wrong a little bit.
127. You mentioned the day before yesterday.
Yeah. I'm just saying maybe this level here was a tad bit bigger here. Well, maybe not. 119. And then when we turn on this TPO, you'll see why 124, 127. This is right here. This is 2 days in a row of lower highs that we had, right? And if you go on a daily, you'll be able to see it. But that was basically 2 days of lower highs and us struggling to get above it. So there's like 120, I think it was 123 and a quarter or something like that. But ultimately, I'll show you guys why the 127 here. Hopefully you guys remember why.
Single prints as well.
Yeah, so there was single prints from that day. Remember when we had this spike here? This was the base, this is the end, right? So a high chance if they're able to, man, this thing just drives me crazy. High probability if they're able to get inside here. Let me close this. You guys saw it. So if you're able to get in these single prints here, I believe this was also like a late H period. Yeah. H period, and it goes all the way up to here, right? So there's a high chance they might crack that, right? Another possibility, what they might try to do here is what?
They test, they don't like it, and they build this single prints down here.
That's correct. So there's a high chance that we fail at the previous week value area high, as I think this is being driven mainly by Tesla earnings, which I don't think necessarily they're strong, but I think a lot of it was actually priced in. So let's see how they react if there's more aggressive sellers show up tomorrow at a decent price, or if they really start pumping Tesla. And if they do, I think the market could recover. So what is the level that you want to see them hold tomorrow?
$50.89.
Yep, the level I just marked. So you have to hold that. And why do you have to hold that?
It's the bottom of the single prints. What provides double distribution, essentially.
Yeah, and it's not double distribution, but it is where they had emotional buyers come in, right? There's not a lot of TPOs below, and there's a massive excess low. I believe this was also an A period.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I mean, obviously they ran. This is a perfect bullish setup, right? Where you leave unfinished business on the top on a P-shaped profile. So tomorrow, if they were to offer us something like, like this or overnight, that's a pretty good go, right? But I'm not saying they might do that, right? If they come out of the gate tomorrow firing, meaning that they don't give any pullbacks to any key levels, then Tesla has a little bit of sentiment and people are freaking out and they're going to start pushing the market up, which is highly possible tomorrow, right? And I even mentioned it, I believe it was Sunday or not. There's a high chance that we go 51.80 this week, guys. And I don't know if you guys remember from the watch list, this was the area I was targeting. If they were to hold that level, if you guys recall, especially if they reclaim this level and they gave you a nice retest. If you go back on Sunday night, I think I drew this. If I remember, I'll go back on the video and find it where I drew. If they hold this level here, we're hitting 51.80. So tomorrow is a really a big day, you know, in terms of the market, right? If they can crack this 51.27, I'm long all the way here. First target here and I'll leave a runner here, another maybe 18 points or so. And there's no need to gamble. You'll know tomorrow, right? Especially if they look above and then they fail, that's going to be a bearish setup, right? Then most likely they're going to crack this low here. But I would expect them, I have a feeling, just intuition, that they might try to push for this. Bears will try to short it, right? I mean, PVP is there on the weekly. I'm not saying that this is a must, but if they look above and fail, that's extremely bearish. And you guys would see it here, right? Let me see. So we're looking really if they can get above this previous week value area high here. And I think they can peak inside 51.27 and then fail. And that would be a very good setup for short, right? If they crack this 51.27, let's say maybe slightly inside a little bit, but you see the volume is picking up, there's a high chance that it just goes like a rocket. It did not spend a lot of time in this section. It was not a lot of volume, right? There's a high chance they won't even do it on the way up, right? There's no interest in that level. Nobody's interested to spend time or volume at that level. Therefore, it might just fly again. And you see here on VRVP as well. Everything seems like ready to rocket now. Would be nice to get a pullback to this 89, but I was waiting for it today and I never got it. So that's fairly easy playing for me. And then if you lose, what level should they lose for you guys to turn a little bit of bearish on a downside? What is your pivot for downside?
78 and 5, maybe?
So for me, you know, it's 89 and below. There's a high chance. I wouldn't really short any of these moves. Is there a chance you guys can? Yeah, definitely. If they crack above this poor high and let's say they lose it tomorrow, you could take this. But there's so many levels in between to bounce. Value area high, POC. Then you have the previous. Like for me, the short is not here. If I was going to play something, it would be, you know, the setup of a long here. If they crack this, then I'm looking for shorts below. Is that fairly simple? I'm trying to give it to you guys where it's on two levels. Like it's either this or that. And then if that, then what do I do? How do I react? Right. So if we can open above 12, right, and hold it, high chance we hit 53. Let's say we go to the bottom, that's another good long. But if they crack below, then they're interested in opposite price action. There is 11 points in between these, but this is a pretty massive access high, guys. Somebody here was not interested, you know, on spending a lot of time here. So, and we did spend some time and volume here before. So this time something changed, and if they crack this level and hold, there's a high chance they just rock it, guys. Okay. Any questions on this? Is everybody, can you formulate your plan from this, what we just covered? I mean, I gave you my plan. Is there anyone that can't put a plan together?
Keep an eye on 50-90, pretty much.
Yeah, you keep an eye on 1590. That's a pretty good long. If you open above the poor high, and let's say you hold it, high chance we hit 53. And as crazy as it might sound, I might just grab some SPX right in the morning. If they're holding this, grab 40 points away and see if I can catch another banger. Okay. All right. Well, I don't have much than that. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you, Shorty.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Shorty.
Thank you, Shorty.
Thanks, Shorty.